Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to try to cover the definition of glycemic index. What does it mean and how does it relate to your foods that you eat in your system, and hopefully give you some ideas of what food may help you have an idea, or at least a better idea, of what is glycemic index. So let's just start with some simple definition. So glycemic index is a rating for food containing carbohydrate and sugar. A perfect example is a biscuit. A biscuit contains both carbs plus sugar. And the GI, or the glycemic index, measures how these components are broken down in your bloodstream or in your blood. Okay, so it's very important to have an idea how this works. Let's just color this in red. So as you can see, I've got two images of two different type of food, which is mainly involved in most people's diets. Okay, so let's just put like a versus here. Okay, so obviously most people can kind of like figure out that cereal, Cocoa Pops, high sugar cereal contain high level or GI, high GI, while food that are maybe not as sugary, or that obviously if you add more sugar it makes it more higher, but naturally speaking, a bowl of porridge has low GI, or a lower glycemic index. So you may be thinking, how do I use this information to my own advantage? Now, the simple way to put it, obviously, is much more complex than that. You stick to food with low GI. Okay, so just with low GI. Okay, so let's just give an example. Let's just take an image of maybe some candies, some ice cream, something along those lines. So I've got an image of sweets and goodies, and let's just put a nice cross across them. That's a bit extreme, but the idea is to mainly stick to reducing the quantity, and let's just say reduce quantity of this kind of food. Reduce quantity of high GI foods. Yeah, I think that's sensible. Okay, because not only the advantage of cutting down on this food, another advantage is it's kind of like, it reduces your blood sugar level or blood glucose level, which also prevents chronic conditions like diabetes. Levels. I'm going to go into more details of which kind of food you should stick to, but this is the general idea. So let's just have a simple illustration of maybe a low GI glycemic index food. Okay, so let's divide it into different groups. So like fruits, breakfast, and mains, and dessert, whatever. Okay, so if you want to, let's start with the low GI food. So the main one you want to talk about is at the beginning is your fruits and your vegetables. So low GI ones will be like your apple. So let's just put an apple here. Let's shrink this. So we put this apple into the plate. Maybe a bit smaller. So let's say apple. Okay, contrary to the common beliefs that not all fruit are good, not all fruits are equal, apple is actually generally quite a good option. Another good option of low GI food is dried apricot. So let's just put that in the plate. Maybe shrink it a little bit. It's going to get quite busy, this plate. Dried apricot. I'm not going to cover every single food, but I'm just trying to give you a general idea or what may be something you can insert into your diet, so that may help you understand a little bit what may be going on. Another good example of low GI fruits or meals is your berries. Now I shrunk it quite a bit, so just put it an arrow here. Berries. I hope you guys can see that. Another good example would be, well, salad is obviously, so let's just put like a Mediterranean salad. Maybe we're running out of space, guys. Maybe just about here. Yeah, so let's just put an arrow and just say salad. And another good example of low GI food could be some orange. That could be an example, or a pear. Let's put the picture of a pear. I don't want to crowd this plate too much, and that's it. A pear. And generally your vegetables are also good. So if you incorporate this into your fruit diet, this is pretty good. So let's just go to the intermediate GI food. Moving on to the next section, which is the medium or the intermediate GI food or glycemic index food. A good example of intermediate would be some banana. So you could incorporate that more into your diet. Maybe some melons. It's not very common that people have melons in their diet, but so let's just put that in the plate. Just normal melons, not watermelons. Just say melons. And another example could be some raisins. So let's just put some picture of the raisins. Yeah. So let's just put raisins. And kind of like fruit that are generally not very common, but not very uncommon either. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you can get some more information about which food contain intermediate or medium GI. But I don't want it to be too extensive. Anyway, let's move to the high GI fruits. So moving on to the high GI fruits, one that is very common is watermelon. So watermelon contains a lot of carbohydrate and sugar, so that is a high value one. So let's just say watermelon. So keep an eye on it, because I know people that can just have loads of watermelons in a day, and yeah, that is going to skyrocket your blood sugar levels. Another example of a high GI food is pumpkin. Now, that's not very common, but it's just to put that in your mind. And there's plenty more, but this is the general idea of what contains high GI. Okay, so let's now move on to the breakfast food groups for glycemic index. So moving on to the breakfast one, let's just modify. Let's just cancel this. It's not high. It's a low GI one. Let's just keep it consistent like that. Low GI. So the most common one I get asked a lot about is porridge. Obviously, porridge is very good, high in fiber, and this is the king of low GI food. So porridge, very important. The next one that is very common that we, kids or young adults and even some older people love is the oat bix. Let me see if I can put an image of it. Oat bix. I personally don't like it, but I know people that swear by it. So yeah, oat bix is also a good one as a low GI food or cereal. Another good one is muesli. Could be any brand, but one that I commonly have in my cupboard is the Jordans. I'm not doing any type of promotion here, just that. Okay. And let's see if I can get another example. I'm not sure if everyone have this in their breakfast, but sultana brown is also very common in people's breakfast components. This is very good for your blood sugar levels. So if you have all of them or most of them for your breakfast, you're good to go. You're good to go. So next, let's move to the medium GI breakfast cereals. So moving on to the medium GI foods or cereal, another common one that people tend to know that could be bad, but they still stick to it, is Weetabix. So I haven't got an image of it, but let's just write maybe the black pen, just put an arrow, Weetabix. So it's a medium one, but it contains loads of fiber, so that's still alright, I would say. Okay. The next one I like to follow is what's it called? Puffed and shredded wheat. So I'm just gonna put puffed wheat. Let's put it in our plate and shredded, and let's just shrink it into a plate. So that's another good example of medium GI foods, cereal. And the last one is brown flakes. It doesn't have to necessarily be this brand, it can be any brown flakes. But this is a good example of medium GI breakfast food. Now let's move to the high GI ones. So moving to the high sections of the GI for breakfast. Obviously, let's start with the boom, Rice Krispies. Very, very high in carbohydrate and sugar. I think that's quite self-explanatory. Coming at number two, Cheerios. Any type of Cheerios, even if the brown one, the flakes, they just contain way too much sugar to compensate on anything, even though they may contain loads of fiber. And obviously the king of all, the one that took me when I was younger, failed a lot of times, Cocoa Pops. Yeah, I used to be addicted to this, so God bless it. Another one that is very common that people don't expect, and there's a claim that is very good for you, is the OG cornflakes. So yeah, this is the Four Musketeers of I know it's Four Musketeers of high GI for the breakfast. So just keep this in mind, and like we said, try to go more towards the medium and the low. Avoid that as best as you can, the high ones. Okay. Now let's move to the main meals like rice and pasta. Now moving on to the main meals, this may come a little bit as a shock actually, is pasta. Pasta contains low sugar levels, low carbohydrate levels. It's generally quite good. Obviously cold pasta is even better, so who would have thought? Another good one that comes as a surprise is also noodles. That seems to contain low GI itself, so yeah, chuck it into your diet. Another good example is easy cook long grain rice. Even me, I was surprised about this. I used to think this contained loads of sugars and everything, but no, it's got a low GI. So yeah, dive into it. And also the cousin or basmati rice. Let's see if I've got some image for basmati rice. There you go. Got some basmati rice too for you guys to enjoy. So a bit of peace of mind in that one. And obviously, I don't know why we call them sweet potatoes, because it's just not potato. It's just not. But yeah, sweet potato is also a good example of low GI meals. If you like yam is also very good. So yeah, stick to those kind of things more than other ones which we're going to go through, and you'll be just fine. Going to the medium, there's not much there's not much I can cover with this one, but obviously potatoes, pretty high on it. Crisp derivatives of potatoes, these are the main stuff. Mashed potato is mainly high also, so actually we could say medium slash high GI food, because kind of like those are the main ones. Potatoes, your high carbohydrate meals, chips, fish and chips, well, not the fish but the chips, and generally that. Okay, so there's nothing much to say about the main meals. You kind of know which one contain more GI than those that don't. But if you guys have more questions about more meals that contains higher GI, just leave a comment below and I'll try my best to answer that. Now let's move to my favorite part, which is the snacks, so we can have more idea which snacks are better than others. Okay, moving to snacks. Where do I begin? Okay, so a lot of this may come as a surprise. So the first one that actually caught me by surprise was banana cake. Banana cake is actually not bad with its sugar levels. So let's just pop in banana cake. So obviously not with those icing, but the plain banana cake. Let me put that, just letting you know. So stick to plain banana cake. Another good one is popcorn, because it's just corn, just popcorn. So you can stick to that, but not popcorn with sugar, the sugary one. So just normal popcorn with a bit of salt. Raisins, nuts itself. Different variety of nuts. I think this is pretty good example with the heart. Pretty good. Let's just name it. Nuts and popcorn. Okay, so next on the list, dark chocolate, or chocolate itself is not too bad. So, but specifically dark chocolate is pretty good. Contains low. Dark chocolate. So it's good to have an idea of that. And I think those are the main ones that you should try to stick more into your diet. Let's move to the medium now. So moving to the medium, I think generally muffins are not too bad. Obviously they're quite high in calories, but they're not too bad in regards to the glycemic index. So let's just put muffin. Okay, let's go to some biscuits. Generally digestives, rich tea biscuits, they're alright. So you can pop it into your diet, obviously low quantity. So let's just say digestive biscuits, pretty good. Obviously your crisps, and generally those are your main tastes that you can. Most of the other things are in the in the high GI section. So let's just move to the high GI section. Okay, moving to the high GI section, let's get rid of that. Okay, so there's plenty to cover. So we got all your sweets and candies. So that's all gone. I'm really sorry, guys. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just how it is. So the donuts, any type of donuts, the plain, the jam, the chocolate, the I don't know which taste of donuts are there. Okay. Another IGI one is your wafers. Wafers. Okay. There you go. And anything that have icing on it, anything that have icing on it, just makes it high GI instantly. But yeah, that's kind of like an overview of examples of which food contains more GI than others. I know it's not too detailed, but at least it gives you an idea which food contain more GI than others. But yeah, that's it for me for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.